Hi everyone, I'm Corinne Mariposa from Miami Seed Share, and today we're talking about saving seeds. Seeds come in many shapes, sizes, and colors, but they all serve the same reproductive function, passing genes from parent plants to the next generation of offspring. Seed production is a form of sexual reproduction. Unlike asexual propagation techniques like stem cuttings, which yield a clone or identical genetic copy of a plant. Seeds have their own genetic variability, which can be expressed in surprising ways. For this reason, we do not collect seeds from hybridized plants. Hybrids are created from the cross-pollination of two varieties of a particular plant species. The resulting offspring may express the favorable traits of both parent plants. However, when these hybridized plants produce their own seeds, the wide range of unpredictable genetic expressions makes seed saving not worthwhile. Choose heirloom varieties of seeds and plants for your garden when you want to save seeds to share and grow in following seasons. After all, you want to know what your seeds are going to grow. Heirlooms are cultivated over many generations, allowing the genetic code to become stabilized and consistent between parents and offspring. Just make sure not to grow multiple heirloom varieties of the same species in close proximity. Cross-pollination by wind or insects can occur naturally. So now that you've chosen favorable plants for seed saving, how do you know when seeds become viable and ready to save? Each species is different, and I encourage researching the particulars for everyone growing in your garden, but there are some beautiful generalities we can share with you today. First up, seeds that develop in pods. Always leave pods on the parent plant until they dry and turn brown. When this process is complete, you can be sure the seeds you gather are mature and capable for germination. Seeds inside green pods are still developing. They often look quite different from viable dry seeds, and when gathered too soon will be unable to sprout into life. When pods are green, leave the seeds unseen. When pods turn brown, the seeds are ready to be found. Just make sure not to leave the mature pods on the plant too long after becoming dry and brown. With time, insects will find and consume your seeds, and after repetitive rains, the pods will begin to mold and your seed quality will deteriorate. Pods will also crack open and the precious cargo will fall to the ground. So as a seed saver, keep a watchful eye. Now let's talk about squash and cucumbers. Often these plants have premature seeds when the fruits are harvested to be eaten. I like to leave a few fruits on each plant to grow large. The internal texture changes dramatically, flavors become unpalatable, and the soft, immature seeds grow harder and larger. These fruits will not end up on the dinner table, but sometimes it's required to sacrifice some fruit seeds to save some seeds. Tomatoes, eggplants, and peppers are also often harvested when seeds are underdeveloped and unlikely to germinate. Allow these fruits to fully ripen on the parent plant. A tomato that naturally falls from the vine after ripening is a wonderful tomato to quickly find and save its seeds. Eggplants and peppers less readily drop to the ground, but observing the stem of a fruit can be helpful in understanding the seed development going on inside. If the stem is lush and green, there are still nutrients being passed through to the fruit and seeds. When a stem is dry, browning, or brittle, the parent plant is no longer feeding their offspring and have hopefully raised viable seeds. Finally, let's talk about some plants typically grown for their gorgeous flowers, but we mustn't overlook their tremendous pollinizing capacities. Marigolds, cosmos, zinnias, sunflowers, and the many other members of the aster family are fabulous plants to grow in your vegetable garden. There are lots of edible flowers which bring beauty to any dinner plate, but the real treat comes on wing, with numerous bees and butterflies arriving to feast on the nourishing flower nectars. In return, also pollinating more of the comparatively bland vegetable flowers growing nearby. Inviting the pollinators with a bouquet of floral treats is rewarded with bigger harvests to feed your friends, family, and neighbors. Members of the aster family are generally easy to grow and to save seed for future seasons. As an example, marigold seeds are viable when the stem and all the flower components have wilted, dried, and turned brown. Seeds like these, and the dry potted seeds we collected earlier, are nearly ready to be stored. Simply remove the marigold seeds from the dried flower bits, or chaff, and you're good to go. With pods, remove the seeds by splitting the pod with a finger squeeze along the seams. The carpel easily opens in most legumes. For high moisture fruits, there are some extra steps in the seed saving process. Some of these wet seeds, like tomatoes, are contained in a gelatinous membrane, others in a spongy web, but wet fruit seeds in general are often exposed to chemicals which inhibit the seeds from germinating. In the wild, natural fruit decomposition and exposure to rain removes these chemicals at the appropriate time. When preparing wet seeds for storing, these chemicals are removed through seed fermentation and washing. We'll have to cover these techniques in a future in-depth video. So jumping ahead, once a seed is clean of all the germination inhibiting enzymes, the seeds must be dried. Only a completely dry seed can be safely stored for any significant amount of time. Dry seeds remain dormant. Then when they come into contact with enough moisture to absorb through their seed coat, they begin to germinate. If seeds are stored away without sufficient drying, they may sprout or quickly mold. At Miami Seed Share, we dry our gathered seeds outside in open air, paying special attention to humidity and protecting them from the rains. We built a seed drying rack with window screens pulled from the dumpster and pallet wood saved from the trash. But to dry your seeds in open air, you may also use a ceramic plate or bowl, a baking sheet, or other rimmed kitchenware. The rim helps when tiny seeds start to move around. A screen allows air to flow around the whole seed. If using something with a closed bottom, your seeds will dry more uniformly by stirring them once or twice each day. And always keep your seeds spread out in a single layer to help them dry more quickly. Now that your seeds are processed and ready to put away for the following growing season, we should talk about proper seed storage. The danger to save seeds after moisture is temperature fluctuation and overexposure to light. Protect your seeds' viability by drying them completely, then storing them in an airtight container in a consistently cool and underlit location. Now you can feel assured in the presence of your favorite garden plants year after year without having to rely on purchased seeds. And you can share them with your friends, neighbors, and strangers. Please feel free to contact Miami Seed Share with questions about any plant, saving seeds, or other propagation techniques. MSS runs Miami's public seed collection, hosts free workshops and events, and assists schools, libraries, organizations, and individuals to get their grow on. Miami Seed Share is a zero-waste, zero-carbon, not-for-profit public resource for the benefit of people, plants, and pollinators.